Hello gamers, how's it going? So today we're doing a video on Honkai Star Rail. I'm just gonna say this now, I love the game. I genuinely think it's one of my favorite games out there. I think the character design is out of the world. And if you played Genshin Impact, I'm gonna mention it, right? Because it's made by the same company. This is not the same game. You saw that comment. It's not the same game. Don't say it's the same game, it's not. There's similarities, but it's not the same. But anyway, we're gonna go over a couple things today. Generally what I think about the game after about a week of playing. I think it's been about 11 days, 10 days game release. So we're going to go through a couple things. First of all, like I said, game looks great. I'm not even going to say anything about it. The game just looks great. The characters look fantastic. You know, they have other stuff as well, like, you know, assets and all that. But anyway, moving on. What do I like about the game so much? First of all, we're going to look at the characters. I actually like the way they've done things with actually character development, like in terms of improving them. You obviously have your level, you know, you've got these light cones, which if you've played anything like 7 before, it's basically like artifacts, or if you play Genshin, it's like weapons. Basically, they offer you something like passive or some sort of that increase that is based on something, and you just get a point on a character. It can make a character even better than they are, and it's pretty important at the end of the day. And we also have traces. Traces is basically like an ability tree, upgrade stats, and also, for example, get these like bonus abilities. Sometimes these are literally just stats, like it stats sometimes. And then obviously you have your. Now, interestingly with this game, actually, which I'm going to bring up now, this game you can only use 2 abilities on when you're actually in battle, and then you have your ultimate as well. So if I just quickly go over to, for example, let's go over here. We're going to go up against an enemy. I feel like the combat is probably one of the most interesting parts of this game. I personally really enjoy the combat. I think some people it might not be for them, but I think the way they've done it is a lot better than most turn-based games, where it just feels like a grind. Now here is the combat. So as you can see, we have our single target button, which is basically the basic. The one button that kind of doesn't really do much damage. And then you have your E ability, which is second ability, I guess. Like, for example, boom. Actually pretty good, to be fair, with Zealer especially. Now, we also have our ultimate. Now, this is the thing we're going to talk about the most. These have got the coolest animations, and to be honest, ultimates get me into these type of games in the first place. If I can actually do it here. So here we go. Let's pop that. Very, very good. And the voice acting's out of this world as well. Like, straight up. I actually don't. I only play these type of games with like English voice acting because for me it's just much better. But in general, very, very good voice acting. It's one of the things why Hollywoodverse games are so good. But going over more of the. So let's just retreat very quickly. We also have relics. So I'm just going to say this now. If you're a person who likes grinding for relics and improve stats, you know, against specific is where you need, like, you know, oh, I want to get crit rate, crit damage, oh, and then checking your stats, being like, wow, I still have no crit rate. Then this game is for you. In general, the actual farming itself, after about a week or so, you know, after I've reached level 40, I can farm for the highest rarity gear. Not on this account, actually, I've just realized. Different account. But I can farm for 5-star / legendary gear. This is like pretty much what you're going to be doing 99% of the time. To be fair though, when it comes to any of these games like Genshin or Honkai Star Rail, you're going to be doing a lot of farming for actual like upgrades for your characters. For example, like I was talking about traces before, you've got to farm for these a lot. So to actually upgrade this, you're going to need a lot of them. Like, no, I mean, you're going to need a lot of them. It's going to be a nightmare, just straight up. But that comes with a lot of these gacha games. But we also have the Eidolon system, which is like a constellation system. Like, you know, each copy of a character. That is what this is. Each time you do that, it makes the character better. A lot of the time to do that, you need. With some characters like the free-to-play ones, you don't have to do that because you get the copy free, or you can just get them a lot easier. Now, in general, I would say this game is free-to-play friendly. I think it's as free-to-play friendly as it can get. But I think your time is the thing that is, is it free-to-play time friendly? It's a little bit more debatable because you don't need these, right? You don't need these at the end of the day. But for you to, for example, get more gear, there is a stamina system. Like expected, you're gonna have to refresh your stamina. You're gonna have to just farm all the time. Comes with any game really, but if you're not into that, it might not be for you. There's gonna be a lot of farming. I think that's kind of a realization a lot of people have made. It's very similar, but I actually think it's worse off because the world, it is very linear. Very linear might be a bit of a wrong word, but it's quite linear. As you can see, these like maps that we have. For example, you can only really explore these. There is, for example, also different worlds, but I won't go too far into that. There is quite a lot of exploration, and to be fair, the environments do look very cool. If I can try and come up there, I think the environments are pretty cool. But it does move me on to the next part. So how nice is this game for people? So currently we have some events. I've actually done a couple of them, but there is one for getting some pulls, so you can get 10 limited banner pulls for the actual gacha. And just quickly actually going over the gacha, it is the same as Genshin Impact. So 90 pulls for hard pity, so that's guaranteed for the character. Well, actually, okay, it's not guaranteed for the character, but it's guaranteed for a legendary 5-star. Yes, it's guaranteed for a 5-star. That could be a light cone / weapon, if you call it, or it could be a character. Now, if you, for example, are pulling for Zila here, I do 90 and reach hard pity, get something else that's not Zila. Next one is guaranteed to be Zila. So, most of the time you won't have to go to 90. You only have to go to 75, and that's when your soft pity starts. And I believe it goes up by 2%, but that might be Arknight. So I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. After you reach 75 onwards, it tends to be a lot easier. So take that into account. What about other stuff on the gacha as well? We have light cones which you can pull for. Don't do this. Just don't. Unless you are a whale or you spend money or you want this so badly and you're like, yes, please, then go for it. Also, at the start of the game, we have standard banner, but we do have a banner where you get a guaranteed 5-star. Now, who are these characters you can get? You can get all of these ones. So you will get one of these guaranteed after 50 pulls. And get lucky and get 2, actually, or more, from what I understand. I've gotten Jeopard and Bronya from him, so I got quite lucky. But this is get from first 50 pulls. Once you reach 50, you're guaranteed. So if you don't get one before, you're guaranteed one. So it's pretty nice. I actually think they should do that for Genshin, but we're gonna not talk about Genshin here because this is not Genshin Impact. Now, next thing to actually talk about, Bronya, is actually what I just clicked on. So we have the standard banner here. It's actually quite interesting what they did in this game, and I'm actually a big fan of it. They actually have, so on the standard banner, if you do 300 pulls, you get a pick of these characters, whoever you want. So you can pick whoever you want from here after 300 pulls. I would personally go for Bronya if you don't have her. This is just not even related to review. Just go for Bronya. She's really good. Or, as I think, go for the character you want. But if you're a tryhard, Bronya is a beast. So definitely do that. But after 300, you get a pick. So very nice free-to-play friendly kind of thing. You will eventually reach 300, and when you do, you'll get it. I wouldn't personally recommend rushing because standard banner pulls, you're not really guaranteed to get what you want, and also it's not a limited banner character. So in general, with gacha games, let's not do that. Now, what about some of the other things in the game, like the actual friendliness in terms of just like getting stuff, I guess. Might not be very clear what I mean by that, but you can actually get quite a few, like, for example, Eidolons for your characters through here. So this is what you use to actually make your main character, the main protagonist, let's just call him main character. let's call main character, you can actually get his eidolons here, so you can make him better. This is you just simply by opening chests around the world. Opening chests will get you stuff all around the map. Very, very solid. If you also exchange points, which you can get, and also get some other rewards like some pulls and some currency to actually do pulls. So very, very nice in that way. It works very similar to Genshin as well in some way, but I think it's really better. At the start of the game, you do get quite a few pulls. Now, what else do I want to go over? Because we'll go over the content here, because there's a lot to this game. There's a lot to this game. So, content in this game is decent if we ignore the exploration part and the story, which if you're a big fan of stories in games, the game is probably for you. Voice acting and everything they do is pretty much focused on story. They put a lot of work into story. That's actually the reason we don't have a skip button, so if you're a person who doesn't like story in games, you can't skip it. But in this game, you can go a lot quicker, which shout out to them for making it at least go quicker and actually matter what you pick. It's actually interactive. But anyway, apart from that, so some of the content we have is Simulated Universe. Now, Simulated Universe is actually quite a cool mode. So how this works is you can basically go into like one of these worlds, and each time you play, you actually obtain these blessings after you beat an enemy in combat. This might have several floors, and once you reach the final floor, it'll be a boss one. Now, this actually is very cool as well, because you can upgrade after you play for a while. You get these like points, and you can upgrade your stats and get other bonuses. But the blessings are very cool, because the blessings, for example, you will get these conditions. So picking the good blessings, very, very fun. And if you pick one that is a specific, like, for example, remembrance here. If I pick, I believe it's 3, you get like this ultimate, and then you can upgrade it after, again, I believe 9, and then 12. I might be wrong in the numbers, but I enjoyed that a lot. I feel like this type of goods is probably the best thing fun in a Hoyoverse game. So take that as it is. Love this mode. I play it all the time. It is really replayable. You can get stuff in it. So it's pretty worth it. You know, you have your store and stuff, you know, get rewards as well from actually just doing this. So honestly, very solid content. Very solid content. Now, talk about one more piece of content that I think is irrelevant about is in the parlor car, which is with our little friend Pom Pom here, which I'm gonna mention because Pom Pom's adorable. He is actually on the animation for summoning, which we are gonna summon very quickly after I show this. So, next piece of content we have, and probably the most end game content, this is Gone Hall. Now, for Gone Hall, if you play Genshin Impact, we're gonna the probably easiest comparison I can make. This is like a spiral abyss. You go through this. If you star it, which basically requires you to like do these conditions, you can get some stuff, like some summoning stuff. Now later on, I think we unlock Shadow Palace. I think that's the name of it, which is basically you put 2 teams in, and it's kind of like your end game content. It's gonna be difficult to do. I personally gonna say this now. If you start in the game, don't build 2 teams yet. It's gonna take lots of resources. But that is gonna be your end game. Quite difficult, likely, and probably the most difficult to do in general. We'll reset about every weeks. We go off Spiral Abyss and Genshin. I think that's how long it is about. So that's generally the content for the game. Is there that much content to do at the moment? After you really reach a high level, it can be debatable. I'm not going to get into that too much. I actually made a video about endgame. Go check it out if you want to. Well, anyway, in general, what was my opinion on this game? I think it's probably my favorite gacha game I've played in a very, very long time. I was gonna say forever, but to be honest, I've played too many gacha games to say that. I think the character designs out of the sword. If you play the game, I'd honestly play it solely for character design. Characters just look amazing. The ultimates, I would go through and just show you all of them if I could. We could be here all day, but I honestly really enjoy the game. I don't think it's paid to win. People can say it's paid to win with eidolons and pulling for specific characters, but just trying to have fun with it. There is so many characters that you can get that are free to play, and people have literally made guides and just videos on people completing stuff with just 4-star characters. 4 stars are generally not that difficult to get. Like, this is just great. I think they've really become like a very free to play game with this one. So in general, I recommend it. If you do want to see more videos like this, please do drop us a like and subscribe. Anyway, we're gonna do one poll here because I don't want Sealer, but wait, this is a wrong account. Oh god. Oh. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm afraid I scammed everyone. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next one, and goodbye.